Hello and welcome to another video. So it is Sunday morning. I just got done looking at the chart for this past week. Really happy with how the market was moving. And also, since it is the end of the month, I took some time to look at the monthly and 3-month chart. This is something that I've been talking about and that I've mentioned in a couple of my previous videos, but it's something I like to do at the end of the month because it gives you a really good indication of where the market is heading. And so for those of you who watched my previous short, I talked about the fear and greed index, and also I talked about the volatility index. And both of these things are also really great indicators to give you an idea of, okay, should I be holding on to my cash and waiting for a dip, or is it still a good time to put more money into the market? And so I wanted to talk about a couple of stocks that have seen some really great momentum over the last 3 months. Of course, we all know that in April there was a huge, what people are calling a crash, a correction, whatever you want to call it. But we saw a huge downtrend in the market, okay? And so I actually wrote down some of the stocks that I've been talking about, that I've not only been talking about, but that personally I've been adding to my portfolio or trading options contracts with. And I want to just give you all an idea for what a 3-month chart can show you, and also why it's so important to really track a lot of these, put them on your watch list. And as you start to see that momentum, take some risk and actually buy either shares of the stock or buy contracts as you see that the market is starting to recover. So the ones that I want to highlight are the following. The first one is AMD. Now, AMD is one of the stocks that I actually did buy a couple of contracts, saw over 100% return on them. So I am really happy with how those trades went, but I've also added to my long-term portfolio as a long-term investment. So there is a difference between trading options, making your quick profit, and then also going into your portfolio, which is where you're buying your shares, you're holding your shares, and you're waiting for those to go up in value in a more long-term way. So for example, AMD back in April, so again, I'm looking at the 3-month chart. And at one point AMD was $78 per share. $78 per share for AMD. Then if you look at it again from the 3-month chart, over the last 3 months, it is up 36%. And right now, it is going for roughly $143. So you can do the math with that, and you can do the math with all the ones I'm going to highlight. But going from $78 to $143 is insane momentum and insane profits. Up next, Palantir. This is one that I always talk about. And Palantir, that's ticker symbol PLTR. Palantir was trading for around $74 over the last 3 months. When you look at the chart, it has been up over 50%, and it is currently trading for $134. Another really great jump there. Up next, this is another one that I talk about a lot, and I always say this: if you're new here and you haven't watched my previous videos, you'll notice that a lot of the stocks that I talk about are the same in most videos, and that's because I am someone who believes that sometimes you don't have to spend so much time looking at 100 stocks. Like, that's actually going to take away from your focus, and that's actually going to take away from you starting to realize and recognize patterns within these 5 to 10 stocks. That's typically what I recommend doing. So SoFi is another one. That's ticker symbol SOFI. That's one that was around $9.50. Again, looking at the 3-month chart, it is up around 43%, and it is currently at around $17. Another still affordable one for those of you who are looking for stocks that are a little bit more affordable and you want to kind of get your feet wet. SoFi, funny enough, I was looking at my transaction history, and SoFi is actually the first stock that I've ever purchased. So that's probably another reason why I feel, so closely to that stock. Okay, next up we have Nvidia. That's ticker symbol NVDA. That one was at around $94. Again, looking at the 3-month chart, it is up around 41%, and it is currently trading around $157 per share. Self-explanatory, Nvidia is taking over. If you don't know too much about that company or haven't started investing in that company, it's a great time to still get in. 157, in my opinion, if you look at it from a long-term perspective, is still pretty affordable compared to where it's heading. And then the last one I'll mention is ticker symbol BBAI. That's Big Bear AI. And this is in the AI industry. Of course, this is something that will continue to go up. But if you look at it from a 3-month chart perspective, it was trading for around $2 about 3 months ago, which is crazy because this is when I talked about it and I was like, hey, you know, this is a really, really what you would call a cheap stock that I really see potential in. And it is currently up around 94%, trading for almost $6. So some people, especially as you're getting in, you're like, okay, well, this stock is like $6. Like, okay. But here is the important part. If you are looking at it from the $2 standpoint, going from $2 to $6 is huge momentum. And think about it. You're not just getting one share at $2. You can get 10 shares at $2. You can get 100 shares at $2. It depends on how much you're wanting to put in the market. But then seeing that growth is honestly the most rewarding thing. So, the last one actually that I wanted to, and I have my little sticky note here, but the last one that I wanted to mention, and this is because I still think that this one is just kind of brewing, it's waiting to boom, is SoundHound AI. That's ticker symbol SOUN. It was at around $7 earlier, so about 3 months ago it was trading around $3, and now it is around $11 $9. So it was at $7. Right now it's around $9, and I do see this just kind of it's kind of at a boiling point and it's ready to pop. So I would say put it on your watch list, do your research. Again, I'm not here to tell you what to buy or sell. I'm simply telling you what I'm doing, and you can do with that information whatever you'd like. So with that being said, those are my stock picks and my stock watch list for the last, I would say, year or so, but the last 3 months specifically after we saw that huge dip. These are ones that were like, oh my gosh, opportunities to buy stuff at $78, $74, $9, $94, and $2, and then now seeing them at $143, $134, $17, $157, and $6. That is pretty incredible if you look at it. And if you look at the charts, it is like, wow, okay, this is awesome. So with that being said, I did want to talk a little bit more about something personal. So this is something that and the reason why I post so much and the reason why I do this is because I know for a fact that some of the people in my family, especially like the generations that came before me that maybe are no longer here, didn't really have these opportunities, didn't have the opportunity to sit at a computer, start learning something, start like just literally picking up a skill, especially something that doesn't require you to go to school for. I'm someone who did go to college. I went and got my AA, and then I went and got my bachelor's degree from UCF, University of Central Florida, and I have my degree on there. But the reason why I have it on there is not because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so wow, like I'm so incredible. I'm so incredible. I actually have it there as a reminder that there are some people before me that didn't get the opportunity that I did to get the education that I did. And so for that reason, I wanted to show this picture. And again, this is my personal way to document everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm studying, everything that I'm learning, how I'm going about investing, everything. And so this is a picture of me when I was roughly like 3 years old with both of my grandmothers, who are two very strong and influential women in my life, and they both actually had to drop out of elementary school in the 4th grade. And so I'm sharing this story because it's something that's really personal to me, and it's something that I keep in my mind as I'm doing my charting, as I'm learning, as I'm, sometimes some days are good and some days are bad. Some days you make money, sometimes you lose money. And I think the beauty of it is stepping back and realizing that regardless of how your trading day went, regardless of how the market's looking, regardless of whatever else is going on in your life, some people really didn't get the opportunity to even learn about this stuff. So these are my grandmas. mi abuela Toña and my abuela Mona, que en paz descanse, my grandma on my mom's side has passed already. And honestly, I think about them all the time, and I keep them right here, literally right next to my UCF diploma. And that is only because, again, it's almost like a reminder to myself that I have to just keep going. I am the one in my family who not only is first generation American, which is already a privilege, but also someone who is just really driven to make my future generation, whether it be my kids or just the kids around me, not afraid to take risks, not afraid to learn, not afraid to just go for whatever it is that you think you're capable of doing. Obviously, investing is something like that is very male dominant, although I will say that I'm really, really happy to see more women in this space. But it's something that is just mental. Like, once you get past the fear of making the risk to learn something new, then you will see the rewards start to happen. And so I feel like that's in the phase that I'm in right now. I am just really excited for not only my trading journey, but also for the people that actually tune in and listen to my videos and they learn something from me. And I'm just really excited to continue this journey. I know that it's only the beginning, and I know that there's so much more for me to learn and so much more for me to accomplish. And so for that, I am just really, really grateful. So if you stayed till the end of the video, I will give you one last thing. And this is something that I've been making. And it's funny because my grandma, the one that's passed, she used to make juices all the time and try to force us to drink it. And I literally would be like running away, like, no, I don't want that. No, like, I hated it. Like, I thought it was so disgusting. And now I find myself at 29 years old juicing pretty much the same juices that she used to make that I used to absolutely hate. So wanted to share with you all this juice that I'm drinking right now. It is literally all just fresh ingredients. So I put carrots in here, pineapple, cucumber, ginger, and lemon. And this is something that I like to drink. It's really, really good, obviously full of nutrients, and it's something that is natural instead of drinking, what I used to drink, like Minute Maid and stuff like that. If you're my friend, you know I used to drink that all the time. So invest in your health, invest in learning, invest in just doing something and being something that your future self is going to be proud of. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what the market does this week. Coming up, it's a brand new month, so let's see what July does for us. But for those of you who are tuned in, I am curious to know what are the stocks that you are currently investing in? What are the stocks that I should add to my watch list? Go ahead and comment. And of course, if you like videos like this, go ahead and subscribe for more. Peace.